There's a line in the final scene of the play. It concludes with Martha having a massive nightmare, and she says, "I can tell you're trying to teach me a lesson, but I think I'm too young to learn it." I feel that way about us all. I don't know that I'll ever feel grown up enough to tell a story. My name is Madelyn Salazar. I am the writer and director of Spiralbound, which will be performing at the Salt Lake City Fringe Festival this summer. It is the debut work of Fickle Mistress Theatre Co, which is a Salt Lake City-based theater collaborative. Spiralbound is a one-act comedy play. It's definitely a dark comedy about a young woman and her sister. They come to this moment of turnover. One of them gets fired. The other chooses to move in with her long-term boyfriend. Martha, she's the main character, and she's tasked with finding a way to afford to live. One of the ways that she tries to pull that impossible feat off is by finding a rich boyfriend. How are we supposed to get by in the society or in the world that we built for ourselves? How are we supposed to move on? The first time I got to a finished first draft, I called Gwenna, my sibling, and I was like, okay, I want you to pick it apart. I want your harshest feedback. They pretty much were like, it's funny, it's working, I see the characters. What are you getting at? What I'm constantly trying to accomplish as a writer is finding the truest version of what I'm trying to say. Because I think, right, all of these drafts that are just these beefed up versions that are dodging the point. We never want to say things as simple as they are. I really appreciate that Gwenna was able to see this massive initial version of this story and kind of understand what the sense of truth was, and then help me get to it. We did our first read through in this room in my apartment. I was so nervous before the reading, and then everyone got here and sat down and we got working on it, and I got so excited. These characters have been inside of my brain for so long, and I've been tweaking the script for so long, so to finally hear it and be like, okay, it works, it sounds good. These actors had found different things were resonating with them than what I had expected. June Rose plays Martha. River Robinson plays Vivian. Kim Henson plays Mom. That's her name. James Haw plays Thomas. That's Vivian's long-term boyfriend that she's moving in with. Michael Davies plays Ben. That's one of the people that Martha goes on several dates with over the course of the play. There's this chorus of voices that's featured in several scenes. They represent the inside of Martha's phone. Some of them are a representation of the inside of her head. I like to think of them as the voice of the people, kind of. So Jude and Mara play a variety of those voices. I feel so lucky to have just the sense of community that it's been to draw these 7 people together. Many of them didn't know each other. It's so cool to see them all work together, and to see what they're bringing to these characters. It totally changes the show for the better. Before our official first cast read through, a bunch of my closest friends and loved ones, we got together and they all read it. They all gave me some really valuable feedback before I finished casting the show. And Briar suggested the name Spiralbound. I think it's a perfect fit for the show. Jude Mocker is doing the sound design for the show. The sound and the lighting, those are kind of a secondary presence in my overall picture of what the finished product will look like. And Jude has such an ear for sound. That auditory landscape that they're building out is really exciting. There's this monologue that the Vivian character, played by River Robinson, delivers that's kind of providing some more exposition into the childhood of this set of sisters, and she's telling a story about an ex-boyfriend of Martha's that neither of them remember fondly, and it was it was like several sentences trying to get to the essence of who this shitty boyfriend was. And River asked me, can I just say some fucking guy? And I was like, bingo. So now in the script, when Vivian comes to that point, she just says some fucking guy. And it makes me smile every time, because that's exactly right. That's exactly what it is, you know, that's exactly what it needs to be. But I would not have gotten to that by myself. This show and the people I'm working with on it have taught me, I think, that it's as important to share your journey along the way. The learning is one of the things that we all share, more so than whatever we figure out, you know? The only takeaway I have is like, we just have to wait and see. I've done a lot of acting in my life. I'm very comfortable doing that. That's like a totally known phenomenon to me. I have never shared my writing like this. The first one act that I wrote, it was called What Was Good, What Was Great. It was very dramatic, and I wrote it while I was living in Scotland, and it was performed on stage in the state of Utah, and so I had nothing to do with it, and that was the best, because I just gave them the script. I'm very proud of them. I was very proud of what they did with it, but I didn't have to see what people thought of it. Having the opportunity to direct something I've written and to share it with my friends. Everyone in it is my friend. I'm friends with a lot of cool artists, and I was lucky enough to have them be in the show, so it's a totally different kind of vulnerability. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for us to get into that space and to meet the other artists too, because the Fringe Festival is like, it's just such a cool collaborative thing to be a part of. You can find us on Instagram at Fickle Mistress Theatre Co. We'll be posting updates and announcements. Come see our show at the Salt Lake City Fringe Festival last week of July to the first week of August this summer. It'll be housed at Trolley Square, and you can find a ton more information at their website and on their Instagram too.